Hi y'all, I'm Allison. Happy Halloween. We've got 1 week and look what arrived in the mail. It's the Nightmares box from Once Upon a Book Club. Gonna have some Halloween themed gifts to open as I read a scary book, How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold. I've never read anything by this author. We've got monster teeth for the sprayed edges. Looks pretty cool. And I'm excited about this. So I'll be reading this book, and whenever I come to a post-it telling me there's a gift, I will come back in, tell you what I think about the book up to that point, and we'll open up the gift together, see what they sent. The gifts always tie into the story, which is really cool. Now this one is the Nightmares box, so this should be pretty spooky. And it's Friday, 1 week from Halloween. A rare thing. We're supposed to have thunderstorms all night. So I don't know if I picked a really good night to read a horror book or if I picked a really bad night to read a horror book, but we'll find out together. All right, I am going to go ahead and just dive. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you what it's about when I come back and we open the first gift, provided that it's not too, we don't have too long of a wait. Let me look and see. Yeah, it's page 44. We get a post-it note. So I'll get a little idea of how I like it. So up to that point, come back, tell you what I think, and we'll find out what the first gift will be. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, the rain hasn't started yet. It is full on dark now. I think it's about 7:30 at night. And like I was saying before, you know, we haven't gotten much rain. In Texas, it varies whether we get any or not. And typically when we do get the thunderstorms, they're quite dramatic. And we're supposed to have them all night tonight. So I may regret reading this book tonight, but we will see. So far, it's not scary. We're just laying the groundwork. And at first, it kind of had like a little campy feel, like the movie Clue, with all of the guests arriving at this house and they're not quite sure why they're there or, you know, checking each other out. Because we're going to have 7 authors who are invited to the reading of a will of a legendary horror author, Mortimer Queen, has passed away. So they're all invited out to his manor house for the weekend because they're going to be left something personal in the will. And the first character that we start with, I guess she's a little bit more naive because, like I said, it had a little bit of a campy feel. In the next chapter, we switch to a different author. So it looks like we're going to have 7 POVs in this one because there are 7 authors that are invited. And I think it was in the middle of chapter 2. I finally went ahead and looked at the back of the book because I was like, well, is this going to be like a cozy, funny one? Or is this going to be like a nail-biting? I wasn't quite sure what I was in for. So everybody's there expecting a piece of this massive fortune. And they all have their unique connection to the literary icon. And they've all been waiting for their chance to step into his shoes. Instead, they arrive at the manor and they're invited to play a game. So the rules are simple. Solve the riddle and progress to the next room, or if they don't, the manor will take one of them for itself. You see, the Queen estate was built on the bones of Mortimer's family. And like any true horror story, the house is still very, very hungry. So we're going to have the locked, room, house party kind of thing. And will they get out? Will they not? We don't know what everybody's tie is to the author, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And this is a debut, so I'm excited. It might be, it's given Kill Creek, because that's kind of the same premise. On this one, we've got horror writers that are invited out to an old scary mansion as a publicity stunt for over Halloween weekend. And they start dying off one by one in the house. And it seems like that's kind of the same premise for this. But I think this one's supposed to be super scary. And this one, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. This one's going to be a creepy whodunit, which I absolutely love. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling because obviously if I came back and I'm on page 44, we get to open the first gift. Here it is. We got this little thing. And I actually I'm in need of some of this, so hopefully it will suit my skin tone. I know in the book it's referring to a coral lipstick, but I can't seem to get the plastic off of this. So, found it. Weapon of Retribution. liquid lipstick. You see that? Pretty cool looking box. I don't know if it's coral colored lipstick. I do love a good red. Look at that. How cool is that? It's shaped like a knife. I love that. Coral number 2. That was not what I was expecting. I was expecting like a peachy orange. Okay, so I was like, how do you get it out of here? So it twists. All right, I have a lip stain on right now, so I don't think we'd be able to tell. But it's a red. Might be a stain, but I love that. How cool is that? When this wears off later on, I'll try to remember to sample this and see how it is. But high points for unique design. Love it. Okay, I am going to go back to the story, which I'm also really loving. And it looks like the next gift is not going to be too long. It's on page 78. So they are about to proceed to the next room. They don't know. Nothing's been mentioned about playing a game yet. But, you know, there may be somebody who has already fallen into a secret passageway. I think this is going to be a good one. All right. I will see y'all as soon as I get to this post-it. All right, I'm back. It's not much later. I've already made it up to the next post-it mark, and so far I am enjoying it. Although I'm a little concerned because I went to go ahead and add this to my books on Storygraph because I wanted to mark that it happens in Vermont. And I noticed a couple of people have already read it that are in my little friends group, and they did not rate it very high. In fact, they only give it a 2. So I'm a little apprehensive now. I'm curious to see if I'm actually going to enjoy it or if I'm going to line up with them and go, no. So far, I don't see anything to warrant a bad rating on it. I am quite enjoying it. It looks like things are about to kick off as far as the things have been revealed to the guests now. So they realize what's going on and all sorts of bad stuff is about to begin happening, I believe. Because, in fact, something quite dramatic just happened, and it's like the first body count. So I'm curious. I don't remember where the post-it was because it'll be like right underneath the text. You know, it said, like with the lipstick, it said coral number 2. You know, it was very obvious that it was going to be a lipstick. And I don't remember what was underneath the post-it, what line it was under, because this scene, I have a feeling I'm going to get a Halloween-related gift this time. So let's see what it is. We just had our first body show up, basically. There's a gift attached to it. Not in the book, but this kind of attached. I feel like I look so pale. The medicines that I have to take make me pale, and I went for an infusion today. So it's just to beef up my bone density. I feel like I'm looking very pale, and I'm starting to feel kind of poorly too. So I don't know if I actually will finish this tonight. I may call it an early night and finish it tomorrow. Okay. Oh, Felix the Skeleton Candle. Okay. I was wondering how they were going to pull that off. Let's see what we get. This is actually pretty cool. Can y'all see it? It's very bumpy. It looks like a brain up top with all of the little nooks and crannies in it, but it looks like it's a candle. It really feels like a candle. It has a very light, almost kind of soapy scent to it. It's very subtle. Curious. I bet this melts in a very interesting way. You would definitely have to put it on some kind of a plate or a platter or something, but pretty cool. I'm kind of happy with this one. All right, I'm going to go back to the book after, maybe if I eat. I'm going to try eating something. Maybe I'll feel a little better. It looks like the next gift will be on page 153. So I got quite the ways to go. Maybe that'll put me about halfway through. So we've got 4 gifts in this. Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all, there was also a little SQR code. Is that what those are called? There are a lot of clocks in this house and they all go off at once. So you got to hear a little audio clip of a whole bunch of clocks chiming. So it was pretty cool. Added to the little ambiance of the book. All right, I will see y'all when I reach the next post-it or tomorrow morning. By the way, it did start raining. It's not coming down hard, but there was quite a bit of lightning earlier. So I think we're supposed to have this storm all night long. We'll see. So far, the book hasn't been scary, and maybe that's why they rated it low. It's not necessarily scary. It's, yeah, everything's kind of being laid out for you. You're being told, not shown at this stage. That may change. All right. I'll be back later. Bye. Okay. I've been reading, obviously, and I made it to the next little post-it note for the gift. They are in like a library sort of room. I think it's more maybe a long hallway with a lot of books, but there's a lot of books there, and that's what matters. So this is the gift for it. Page 153. All right, let's see what's in this one. Library labels. That's cool. It says organize your library by genres using these customizable labels. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, it's like the apothecary little labels. See, it's these little the golden things, and it's got the pieces of paper to slip in them. Not Halloween-y, but that's okay. Because they managed to make the lipstick a Halloween item. So I'm okay if this one isn't. These obviously won't work on my bookshelves because I have more than 6. So if you only had one bookcase, then that would work. You know, you could put one on each shelf. So I don't know what I would use these for. Kind of cool. Definitely a niche kind of thing. As far as the book, it's kind of got a slump. Maybe not a slump, but the way it's set up, you know, we've got the 7 authors, right, that are there, and it appears like this is a revenge book, and that was on the back of the book. But so for each of the authors that are there in the house, it seems like there's going to be some kind of a backstory for them, and that's taken me out of the haunted house vibes. So it's a little, while it is interesting, I do like their backstories, it is taken away from the horror aspect of the book because you're pulled out of this scary environment that they're in that, I'll be honest, isn't necessarily quite scary, but it is unique. I will definitely give her that because this haunted house, this is a unique one. I'm liking that, but I'm not really, I don't feel invested in it. I'm not scared. I am intrigued. It's not a bad book, but it's not that, oh God, it's thundering kind of scary book that I was kind of anticipating. So anyway, I'm probably about the midway point now. I think a little bit. I'm using a napkin as bookmark. So yeah, right about halfway. So I don't know if I'll finish this tonight or just save it for tomorrow morning. I have a long way to go for the next one. Oh, there it is. On page 303. So towards the end will be the last gift. So, okay. I'm going to go back to this. I don't know how much more I'll read tonight. Probably end up finishing it tomorrow. And I will be back with y'all when I get to the next gift. Hi, y'all. It's the next day. What is it? This is Saturday. So I continue reading this book this morning, but I spent the majority of the day in bed sick. So I had some medicine and I had the expected side effects, and it was not fun. So just achy all over, kind of flu-like symptoms and everything. I seem to be on the rebound now. I will probably go back into bed to finish this. Got a little bit left, but you know, I was afraid to stay there for too long because then I won't be able to sleep tonight. You know how that goes once you start to rebound, but you're not quite sure if you're feeling quite up to par and You're in that little gray area. So anyway, we are here because I have the next gift, the last gift. So let's open up this and see what it is. I have a sinking suspicion it has nothing to do with Halloween, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, got the plastic off. Let's see what is in here. If I can figure out how to open the box, which I did. Oh, I take it back. We got a Halloween read more books LED neon sign. Okay, this is cool. I am excited by this, at least from what I can see so far. It's kind of wrapped up in plastic. This is so cute. Okay, this yeah. I'm very happy with this one. So it came with this little chain with the little hooks. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. I have to find, plugs in with USB. Okay, are you ready? I don't know if you can read it because of the light, but it will hang quite nicely. There, read more books. 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 I was trying to get the boo sound with books, and it doesn't really work that way, but I think he's cute. Let me see if I can hang him up on my shelves. Okay. Oh, I think he's right out of frame. Can you see him? There he is. Isn't he cute? Let me turn him on. So we'll see how blindingly bright he gets as it gets darker. But he's so cute. Okay, I knew it was going to be a neon sign, but I didn't know it was going to be a ghost. Yeah. Okay, he's kind of blinding if you look at him straight on. Okay, I'm going to turn him off. Hope that he's secure enough and isn't going to fall off. And let you know a little bit more about the book. Granted, I was sick. Pretty much I had like flu-like symptoms. And I started reading it again, I think around 11 o'clock this morning. But it was enough to keep me from feeling, took my mind off of how much I was aching, which is a good thing. But I don't think I like this book. You've got flashbacks. And when the flashback happens, it takes you completely out of like this haunted, spooky house trapped thing that they've got going on. And then you're dealing with some incident that happened quite a while back, as in a flashback. So you lose that intensity from the scary haunted house type thing. And I think because of that, nothing feels scary. I haven't been scared one bit in this book. I haven't been worried for any of the characters. I don't know that I like any of the characters. They're all kind of bad people. That's why they were invited to this house. Kind of one of those revenge things. And it's just, I don't think this one's going to be for me. Now, I do have a little bit to go. I'd be surprised if, I don't see this changing my opinion, but I do want to know how it ends. So it's not that I'm hating it. I'm just not loving it, And it's not the Halloween scary vibes that I was wanting with a thunderstorm last night and everything, and what I would expect from a haunted house. But it's been entertaining. So that being said, I am going to go and finish this up. But I want to show y'all something. First of all, Lily, come here, girl. Lily, come here. I haven't shown y'all. Let's see if I can tilt you enough. Lily, come here. Look, she brought her candy corn. But I don't know if you can see it, but she has a pumpkin collar on. So she's all dressed up for Halloween too. Okay, talk about awkward angles. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I've been meaning to show you her pretty collar. And she's got her candy corn. All right, I can feel myself running out of steam. So I'm going to go finish this book and see if I can get some food in my stomach. And then I will be back at the end to tell you what I thought of it for the final opinion. I finished it. It's about 9 o'clock at night. I didn't have too much more to go last time I saw y'all. And while I didn't necessarily love this book, I wasn't blown away by it. It wasn't a bad book by any means. I think I would end up giving this a solid 3. It's really good potential to the story. It was quite unique, the concept of it, but it just felt like it was trying to do too many things all at once. Maybe if it wasn't all 7 POVs. I didn't like any of the characters. They don't really have any redeeming qualities. That's intentional. There's a reason for it, but it made it hard for me to connect with any of them. Because usually there's one that you're rooting for, even if I love to love a bad character. They don't have to be all nice and everything, but I just never connected with any of them, and I wasn't invested in what happened to them when they were dying off one by one. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't even care. So yeah, I think I will end up putting this in my to be unhauled pile. So I do love the edges though. And like I said, I hate knocking a debut book because you know what? She did it. She published a book and I can't imagine what that feels like. I bet it's incredible. So I hate to knock it, but it just wasn't for me. Doesn't mean that somebody else wouldn't love it. So I think the gifts were pretty good. We had 2 that were Halloween. Oh, I take that back, 3. I forgot about the skull candle. So really the only gift that I'm not just thrilled with would be the little, the library labels, just because I don't know what I would use these for. But I think what I'll end up doing is adding them to my little craft room, and there may come a day when these will come in really handy. I haven't tried that lipstick, so let's go ahead and give that a little go and see what we think about it. Let me go where I can see better. I just noticed that my microphone wasn't on for some reason. I don't know if the battery's about to cut out again, but that is actually, it's a lip stain, not a lipstick like I thought it was. So I do like it. I wear reds all the time, so this will actually come in handy. I'm a fan of that, and I like our little boo light. Let's try it now that it's darker in here. I hope this won't blind y'all. So it's kind of cute. Gives a little glow. Now that my chair is right in front of them. So, I don't know. The gifts are pretty good. They did hit the Halloween theme this time, which I was very happy to see. So I ordered the other Once Upon a Book Club Halloween box, and that is magic. I got 2, actually. One for me and one for my son's girlfriend. And look at this box that it came in. See if I can tilt you. Since I ordered 2, they put them in a box, and I was expecting it to be mostly filler. But no. Look at these. They're massive. So, okay, hopefully you can hear me because my battery is dead on my microphone. But look at the size difference. This is a standard Once Upon a Book Club. Look at that. It's massive. So, hopefully before the end of the month, before Halloween, which will be this upcoming Friday, it's now Saturday, hopefully I can get into this and have another vlog for you. Okay, happy Halloween, everyone, and let me know if you've read this book or if you're interested in it.